Hello, I'm back with another video for you today. I'm back in San Francisco, lots going on here. So today I'm doing first impressions of two new Caron pour un homme, the Caron flankers, Le Matin Le Soir. I picked these up blind in Paris. I've been carrying it around with me on the trip, and I'm going to do first impressions for you today. I'm going to let you know what the fragrances are all about, notes, prices, and things like that. Although the prices are from the French website, they're in euros, as I don't think these have had an official release here in the States yet. In addition to that, in addition to those fragrances, I'm going to do a couple of announcements, and if you're not up for the announcements, you can always skip ahead to the actual fragrances. But if you want to find out about these fragrances, new ones from Caron pour un homme de Caron, the original from the 30s, and now we've got two new flankers. So stick around to find out all about them. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today we're talking about Caron pour un homme de Caron, Le Matin Le Soir. Kind of like the Maison Francis Kurkdjian fragrances, Grand Soir, and of course, well, first of all, it's the Petit Matin, and then there's the Grand Soir. So I guess these are kind of similar ideas. You would wear the Le Matin during the day, and you would wear the Le Soir at night. The Le Matin is more fresh, according to the notes I've been reading up on. And then of course Le Soir is more of a darker fragrance, and you would wear the darker fragrance at night. But there's no real rules. You can wear these any time of the day. I wear fresh fragrances at night, and darker, warmer fragrances during the day. It all depends on my mood. Same thing with seasons. I wear the darker, more intense fragrances in the summertime. I don't have a problem with that, and then the fresh ones in the winter time. So it just depends on your mood. But if you want to follow rules, you can. That's totally fine, but I just say there's no rules. So I'll let you know about these two fragrances, brand spanking new. I'm not sure if they're going to get a release here in the States. Who knows? We shall see. And of course, as I said, I have some announcements to make. Before I get to all that, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you haven't subscribed, please do click the subscribe button below, and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. The first announcement I want to make is, I know it might be a little late, but I also announced it in another video a couple days ago. If you're in San Francisco today from 12 to 5, although it might go until 6, I am in Neiman Marcus, San Francisco, downtown San Francisco, helping them with Amouage fragrances. You can come and meet me there, and of course I can discuss with you some Amouage fragrances, especially the new library collection fragrances and their attars. And the thing is, I'm not a big fan of attars, but I'm kind of digging some of the attars, the incense and the oud. The oud is actually pretty intense when you first, put it on, but the dry down is phenomenal on that particular fragrance. The incense is great, the vanilla is great, saffron's great, although I think I prefer the iris over the saffron. The rose is great too. They're all really, really great, but I really, really love the incense and the oud. So I'll be discussing those fragrances, and of course the new library collection fragrances. Those are really, really exciting new bottles and things like that. So as I was saying, if you're around, come in and meet me there, and I'll show you the Amouage fragrances. So in addition to this video, I'm doing this video here. I'm going to feature these two fragrances in a haul video. So that should be airing next week. And the haul video is basically all the fragrances that I bought on this particular trip. It's not a lot. I mean, I did buy a bunch, but it's not like really, really massive. There were some fragrances I was looking for in Paris. For example, YSL's Baby Cat. I looked for it in Paris at the Printemps. I didn't look for it at the Galerie Lafayette. I also looked for Baby Cat in Milan at the La Rinascente. They were out of stock of this particular Baby Cat fragrance. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but they've been out of stock. But there's going to be a haul video, so stick around for that. And finally, I think I've been hinting around to this for a while. And this is the big project I've been working on since the beginning of the year. Supply chain issues delayed it and delayed it and delayed it, and I was going to launch in March initially, got pushed back to late April, early May, and more stuff happened. And now we're going to launch this thing 1st of July. And you can go to, well, what it is basically I'm starting a sample club. So you followers of mine who want to sample some of the fragrances that I love on this channel, that I review, or the ones that I'm wearing, not only on this channel, on Instagram or whatever, the fragrances that I really love, and you want to get them, in, you know, decant sizes, not necessarily full bottles, you'll be able to sign up for my Scent Club. It's actually called Scent Club, and it's 3 times 5 ml bottles of fragrances. So 3 different fragrances. My favorites, if you're a fan of my taste, you will like these fragrances, so you can sign up for it. There's a link in the info box to the website. It's theperfumeguide.net. There's nothing there except for a page right now, but you can sign up if you're interested in the sample club, or actually it's called Scent Club, as I was saying. That's the name of the kit. And every month or every 2 months, right now we're looking at every 2 months, I'm going to do 3 new fragrances in 5 ml bottles. And it's basically a very compact box with styrofoam that fits right perfectly in the box, and 3 5 ml bottles fits perfectly in the box, and the box is basically mailable. So all you get is a little box that's used to ship, and inside, in this styrofoam, very, very thick styrofoam, there's 3 different bottles, and it's marked with the particular fragrances, and you can do a quick scan with your mobile phone. It'll take you to my website, and you'll see the names of the fragrances there and things like that. So that's going to be happening very soon. If you're interested, go to my website, theperfumeguide.net, and then sign up to, you know, take action to when the Scent Club launches very, very soon. And I'm sorry this got delayed. It got delayed a lot just because of supply chain issues and other, you know, the contributing factors that prevented it from getting launched earlier. But it's finally happening, and a lot of you like to sample some fragrances and don't know where. And as I said, this is a great way for you to sample some of my favorite fragrances. You don't have to commit to a full bottle, and you know, you can sample the fragrances, and if you love it enough, you can go ahead and order a bottle directly from my website, which I'll have links to the brands there. Anyway, that's happening now. Go catch that, or go sign up for, you know, the launch of that very, very soon. We're targeting July 1st, but it might happen a little before or a little after. But as soon as it's launching, the website will open up. Anyway, on to the fragrances. We've got 2 new fragrances from the House of Caron. I should say the original Caron Pour Un Homme De Caron is a fragrance my dad wore and he loved a lot. It is a lavender, vanillic, resin, amber kind of a experience with musk, and it's a sweet contrast to the vanilla, the aromatic herbal lavender combination with that you know, vanillic, ambery kind of resinous musky base. It's a great scent. To this day, I love it. It reminds me of my dad. I remember in the 70s he wore this stuff, and he smelled great wearing it, and so now it brings back memories because he's no longer with us. Whenever I smell it, it reminds me of him. But that's the original from 1934, I believe. The other thing is, these 2 versions are no longer on the Caron website. This is the sport edition of that same fragrance, and that's the low version. So if you're fans of those fragrances, go get backup bottles now. I don't know what the status will be with those fragrances, especially since they are no longer on the Caron website. But why don't we talk about Le Matin first, the daytime fragrance. We're going to do first impressions, and I'm going to spray on my arms as I'm not wearing any fragrances now, and I'm going to tell you what I think about these fragrances. I actually was at Printemps in Paris. That's where I bought these. I didn't get to smell them, and I was checking out some of their tabac fragrances. They have 3 great smelling tobacco fragrances, and I posted about it on Instagram. You can go catch that post. But I bought these and then now I'm opening them for the first time. So let's go ahead and see. This is a 2022 launch, just like the Le Soir, created by in-house perfumer Jacques. Prices for this, it comes in two sizes, 125 ml and a 200 ml. 125 ml is 96 euros, 200 ml is 138 euros. And on their website it says if you buy any one of these 125 or 200 ml, you get a 12 ml free traveler with this particular fragrance, which is kind of cool, free fragrance. And according to the notes, there's lavandin, ginger, geranium, patchouli, guaiac wood, oak moss, bergamot, and lemon tree petitgrain. So let's see how it is. So if you don't know what petitgrain is, I have a whole video on the channel. Go catch that video. Here is the bottle. Right there. So the juice inside must be green, but the bottle itself is white. Kind of reminds me a little bit of this bottle, the Low, but obviously this is clear and this is not clear. I like this kind of like greenness that you can see from inside. I like that about it. And there's a little bit of greenness here as well, kind of like a pistachio green. Maybe that's not the right word. But let's go ahead and smell this one. It seems to be citrusy and aromatic. Obviously we're focusing on the lavender because I think that's signature for this collection of fragrances, lavender. But we're going into a fresh woody aromatic direction here. So immediately I'm smelling something very sharp. There's like a very sharp experience here. So like sharp aromatics and sharp woods. And I'm assuming there's the fact that there's geranium in here along with the lavender. It's creating this kind of like a sharp, kind of like a metallic experience here. It's very fresh. It's very herbal and also a little bitter. There's bitterness here and there's definitely zingy spiciness as well. For me, the lavender doesn't smell like the lavender in the original fragrance. Absolutely not. It's actually kind of stripped away from the original smell. This smells kind of completely distant from the original. There's also not a lot of warmth here. The warmth is kind of removed, whereas the original, I got a lot of warmth because there's a lot of ambery touches, resins, and then of course the vanilla that's key here. It's that contrast of aromatic lavender with the warmth of the vanilla and the ambery touches. Here I'm not getting that whatsoever. This seems like more invigorating, kind of aromatic with citrusy touches. There's definitely this bitter citrus in here along with the ginger. The ginger seems very, very prominent for me. And it actually seems like it's more prominent than the lavender because I'm not getting the lavender. But then again, they say it's lavandin rather than lavender. When I was taking down the notes, this particular fragrance, the Le Soir version, had both lavender and lavandin, but for this one it's lavandin. So it's not very lavendery, but it's there. It's a kind of a lighter take on lavender. So this is actually kind of nice. I like it. I think it would be a great everyday kind of a wear. It's quite, like as I said, invigorating, but it's also very zingy, spicy, and there's definitely the presence of some citrusy touches here and lots of woods. And I think it's the combination of the woods, the citruses, the ginger, and then the aromatics of the geranium that creates a kind of a sharp experience. But I think this should be great, a great men's fragrance. It's gotten very, very masculine now, like uber masculine with this particular version, whereas the original Caron, Homme De Caron, a lot of women use it because it's kind of that warm, lavendery kind of aromatic, amber fougere kind of an experience. So they're completely different smelling fragrances here. I like it, but this particular version I would not rush out to get. I smelled plenty of fragrances like this, so it's not that it's a bad fragrance. I would not rush out to get.
Sorry, could you say that again? Sorry.
Sorry about that. So yeah, as I was saying, I would not rush out to get this particular fragrance. That's just me. I have plenty of fragrances like this. It's not a bad fragrance. I've smelled a lot of fragrances like this. This is their own take on a daytime version of Pour un Homme De Caron from the House of Caron. Now, if you guys didn't know, Caron's been around since the early 1900s, and as I said, the original Pour un Homme De Caron came out in the 30s. So this house has been around over 100 years old, like 111 years old. So they've been around for a long, long time. They're going through some changes, but I think they're going to be here for a lot longer. And I'm glad that they're doing these flankers of the original fragrance. I think just like movies, where they make a remake of a movie, it's a known, proven quantity, kind of a proven fragrance, not a fragrance, but a movie. Here, in this particular, in this case, a fragrance, the name of the fragrance is, been around, it's known, and they kind of capitalize on that name is what's going on with these two fragrances. Alright, on to the Le Soir version. Same perfumer, they have an in-house perfumer. Caron has an in-house perfumer, Jacques. So he does the fragrances for the brand. This is a 2022 launch once again, but sizes are different. Whereas this version, the Le Matin version, has a 125 ml version and a 200 ml version. Here with the Le Soir, they have a 75 ml version and a 125 ml version. And as I was saying, you can get a free 12 ml traveler if you buy a fragrance 125 ml or more. So this particular version, the Le Soir, has lavender, oak, cypress, iris concrete, violet leaves, ambroxan, tonka beans, and vanilla. So they've brought the vanilla back here. So I like that idea of the vanilla. I've always loved the original fragrance, and I'm really, really curious to try this one. But just real quickly with the prices, 75 ml for 83 euros, 125 ml for 110 euros. And again, I bought these in Paris, and I've been carrying it with me all along my trip from France to Italy, and now I'm finally getting to sample them for you. I have a feeling I'm going to like the Le Soir. It's got some more unique notes, and I'm hoping it's not going to be similar to other fragrances, whereas every fragrance starts smelling similar, and there's nothing wrong with the Le Matin. I just feel like I've already smelled that particular fragrance in from other brands. But here is Le Soir. Obviously, it's dark, it's nighttime, so they're going to a nighttime kind of a version here. And let's go ahead and spray it. I'm going to do a bunch of sprays. I like the cap. It's kind of matte finish. I like that idea about it. Oh boy, here in the Le Soir version, they're kind of more in line with the original. I'm smelling the lavender from the original, and also I'm smelling the vanilla. But they've taken on a kind of a powdery experience here. So there's definitely that iris or iris concrete presence, and it's quite strong, with also a little bit of a leatheriness. And they don't mention leather. I'm picking up some light leathery undertones, but there's definitely lots of woods, lots of it, and some ozonic touches. Takes the fragrance into a new direction. Definitely, it reminds me a little bit, very, very faintly, of Prada Luna Rossa Black, but not identical whatsoever. Just lightly, faintly reminding me of that. The powderiness in here is reminding me of the powderiness over there. But obviously, this is very, very lavendery. And again, as I say, it does remind me of this, but it's not identical whatsoever. There's that hint in the background, and that's kind of like the familiarity thing happening. Whereas in the original, I didn't get the familiarity. I get it in the Le Soir quite a bit. I like this a lot. It's quite sexy, it's dark, it's very, very woody, and musky as well. We've got that kind of Ambroxan kind of experience here that I quite like. So this particular version is definitely a winner for me in this beautiful, beautiful black bottle. As you can see here, really, really gorgeous black bottle with this kind of matte finish cap. And on the cap there is their logo obviously here. And I think this will be great. I mean, both of them will be great. If you're a fan of the House of Caron, definitely look into both of these fragrances. And again, I don't know if they're going to make it to the States. I don't know how available these are going to be here, but I think both of them are solid releases. But the fact that Le Matin, I've already sampled fragrances like this, I would skip it. And if you're a person that really enjoys fragrances and you have a bunch of different fragrances, you're probably going to think the same with this one. But this one, on the other hand, Yeah, it's quite nice. Really, really nice. I like the combination of the lavender with these kind of darker notes. And that sweetness in the background is also really, really beautiful here. And I think Le Soir is definitely a winner for me. This is the one I like between the two. And I would definitely buy this one, even though I bought both of them completely blind. And that's my thoughts on these two fragrances. Homme De Caron Le Matin, Homme De Caron Le Soir. Really great releases. Are you a fan of this house, Caron? Do you know these two new flankers? Let me know, put a comment down. I'd like to find out. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the original as well. I want to mention the original because it is such a historic fragrance. We're going on almost 100 years for this particular fragrance. Basically only needed another 13 years. And no, maybe even 12 years and then it'll be 100 years old. But this is a fragrance, as I was saying, my dad wore, and it means a lot to me, especially the fact that he's gone. He's no longer with us. And every time I smell it, and I'm reminded of him. But this is a perfume created by Ernest Daldroff. Obviously, he created it back in 1934, so he's no longer with us. And the price on this one, I didn't take down prices from the Caron website because this is heavily discounted at the discounter, so you can go check and find the best deal online. But for notes in this one, they do mention lavandin. They also mention lavender, rose essence, vanilla, musk, apopanax, and styrax. It's the styrax and apopanax with the vanilla that creates the ambery touch. But there's that little hint of rose in there, lightly. And then there's the muskiness. It's definitely a classic, and I would call this a amber fougere kind of a fragrance. Not necessarily full-on barbershop-y fougere, but there's definitely that hint of a barbershop fougere experience. And the fact that it's got this ambery touch, I would, label it as an amber fougere. But a very, very classic fragrance. It might be a little too tired for younger noses, but if you appreciate classic fragrances, definitely try the original Caron Homme De Caron. Anyway, those are my thoughts today in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. And do go check out my website. Put your name down if you're curious to subscribe or get on board with the ScentClub. And again, if you're around today in San Francisco and you can stop by at Neiman Marcus, please do. I'll be there from 12 to as late as probably 6 p.m. and working with Amouage. And if you have any questions, and they also have some promos. There's some gifts and promos available as well that they can honor if you do make a purchase of any Amouage fragrances. So stop by if you're around and we can meet as well. Other than that, guys, stay tuned for the haul video. I'll be featuring these two fragrances in the haul video. But please like this video, please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.